Hey everybody, and welcome to this vlog. And well, it's been a very interesting, how do I put it, very interesting weekend, very celebrational weekend. That's right, very celebrational. Because for the second time in 2 years, 17th time or whatever it is, in franchise history, the Giants are World Series champions. And for those that commented on my last video where I entitled Giants Win the NLCS, you said your team was going to win. Did that happen? Well, let me just say this. I give Detroit all the credit in the world. They're the best team the American League had this year. They swept the so-called standards, if you will, the high and mighty Yankees, if you will, just like that. And I'll give them credit. They gave both Bay Area teams a fight. They won the battle and the war against Oakland in 5 games. And they gave San Francisco in these final 3 games a fight. I mean, we all know that Giants thumped them in game 1. But we also know that game 2, 3, and even last night game 4 was a fight. I mean, the Tigers, I'll give them credit. They prevented San Francisco from repeating the same thing over again. Both teams had great pitching and batting. There's no doubt about it. But here's the situation about it. The Giants wanted it more. Now, you might say to yourself, well, the Giants had it 2 years ago. Why did they want it again? It's real simple. It's real simple. It's not the fact that they wanted it again. There were players that were not on the 2010 team that are on this year's team that wanted it. Players that were on the 2010 team but couldn't be part of it that wanted it. That is the reason they did it. They wanted to defy the odds, and they did. And again, I'll give Detroit all the credit in the world. They took us to the limit. They took our team, the Giants, to the limit last night. They took them to the limit 10 innings. And you know what? For some reason, I felt it. I felt in my bones. I told my brother-in-law this last night. I said, I feel it in my bones. This was going to go into extra innings. And why? Because I'm sure you Detroit fans would agree, your team, just like the Giants and all their playoff matchups, were not ready to go home. Your team was not ready for the season to be over. But God has a reason for things happening. And I'll give Detroit, and I'll say this to you Detroit Tiger fans. Detroit, this is just the beginning for you guys. Your time is coming. It may come sooner than you think. It may come quicker than you think, but your time is coming. Your time is coming. So don't worry about that. Your time will be here before you know it. But right now, it's the Giants' time. And I'm happy they won. You'll see video of that down below. But it was just a tremendous, tremendous time. And I told my brother-in-law this too last night. I said we kind of came full circle here. The last time we were over there watching the Giants in the playoffs was game 1 of the NLCS, which they lost to St. Louis. Again, which they lost to St. Louis. But, again, came full circle for our family because we go back there yesterday for the potential for what was the final game, and it was. I mean, true. All true. I will say this. Throughout the whole night, it was kind of like on the edge of your seat kind of thing. Heart thumping out of your chest kind of deal. Because you didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, we were watching it when we went to my older sister's, waiting to drive with her. We were listening to it on the radio. And when we got to my brother-in-law's and my other sisters, it was thumping all the way, folks. We didn't know what was going to happen. But as certain points, this is what I thought. This is what I told myself. I said, I have a feeling Game 4 is going to be extra innings. I got a feeling Game 4 is going to be a fight. And as soon as I heard what Detroit was doing and the Giants were doing in response, I said, we're going to go in extra innings. Even before, I just had that feeling. And that's exactly what happened. We went into an extra inning. And it turned out to be a classic way, a classic, most memorable way. And you Detroit fans have to agree. Even if your team didn't win it, you have to admit that was how a World Series should come to an end. A final game of the World Series should come to an end. And with a classic finish. That's how it should be. Now, we did celebrate, we toasted, we did champagne. And, I mean, my brother-in-law's like, you better break that champagne open right now. Get that broom out right now. I mean, just fun. It was a fun, great atmosphere, and it was great to do, great to be around. But you know, and again, it was just, you know, we all thank God because you know we prayed. My mom prayed, my brother-in-law, his family, my brother-in-law prayed, I prayed. Well, like, please let them take this, and they did. And they did. And then my brother-in-law, along with two other Giant fans at his job, are rubbing it in everybody else's faces. So, yeah, it's really good. It really felt good. I mean, as much as we wanted to see a Bay Bridge series, and believe me, we're still going to get that opportunity down the line. I feel it. But as much as we wanted to see a Bay Bridge series, it did not happen. Now, the only thing that upset my brother-in-law a little bit last night was now I don't know if this is because we were just excited, got caught up in the moment or something like that. But initially, he told his boss at his job, he said, man, if the Giants sweep, I am not going to be here. I'm going to be calling in sick because I'm going to the parade. And his boss, basically according to what he says, is like, yeah, well, you're not basically tells him, you're not the only one because my wife's going to be calling me in sick too. Again, yeah, and the fact is he was planning to go. He was going to probably go with my other brother-in-law, and I might join them. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. The reason being is because the parade actually is happening on Halloween at 11 o'clock in the morning on Halloween. So, yeah, we won't be able to go to the parade because it's Halloween. But I can probably look at the reason for that. Halloween, what are the initial colors? The two initial colors associated with Halloween. Exactly, black and orange. What are the Giants team colors? Black and orange. End of story. So that's why they're probably doing it. I know it's stupid, and I know some people are also kind of saying, well, wait a minute, it's Halloween. They're probably just initially thinking, well, we'll just have, you know, people from around the area. Don't count on that. But we'll see exactly what happens. It's going to be very interesting on Halloween night when the kids want to go trick-or-treating in certain areas. Overall, though, it was a very interesting weekend. We had my nephew over, you know, for Saturday night into Sunday. I worked on the typing portion of my mom's homework, which she does most of it by writing and researching and reading. I did most of it. I did most of the typing portion. And what's interesting is because, like I've said before, this teacher's so unorganized, so blankety blank, unpredictable. Guns, kind of like guns at the ready kind of deal. Guns at the ready kind of deal. I had to basically, as my mom asked me to do, put her name on one copy of the papers and put her number, her WID login number, which she uses to go online, the final 4 numbers of that, on another copy. So basically she has 2 copies of the same assignments, but one with the last 4 digits of her login number and the other with her name, because she doesn't know what this teacher wants. But, besides that, it was a very interesting weekend. My nephew, my 8-year-old nephew, is obviously getting into the Xbox deal because he kept bugging me about wanting to do it, wanting to play it. So I ended up letting him play it. But that's all I'm going to say right now. On this vlog, but a very interesting weekend. Giants win. That's a good sign. That's a great sign. And that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below, tell me what you guys think. Video responses are welcome. And I thank you for all watching this vlog. God bless.